G'day guys, Dale from GottaBTrippin. I hired a car in Albania. What on earth possessed me? Well, stuff is probably a lot to do with it. Stick around in this video. I'm going to tell you all about the process, what it cost me, what I'm going to do with it, and quick glimpse. That's it right behind me. Stick around and enjoy the video. So guys, I thought I'd take a quick break on this rainy first day of car hire to give you a bit of a rundown on the whole process. So you've got a number of different options for hiring a car. Why would you want to? Well, I mean, you can catch buses around the place, but as I've said in a previous video, the bus system here is exceptionally unreliable. They're okay when you do get on one, but the timetables are really accurate. The times they actually move around tend to vary a bit, regardless of the timetable. And so it's just inconvenient. If you want to spend an entire day somewhere, you're probably not going to be able to. So what I thought was, while I'm in Saranda, I'll just hire a car. Then I can go to Butrint and know that I've got the time I choose to be in Butrint as my time there, as opposed to relying on a bus. The same thing for all the other places I want to go. So the options for getting around are bus. You could get a taxi or something like that. There are no ride shares as such. There are taxi apps. Bit expensive, especially around Saranda. And so then you've got hire car. So the options are, you could go through booking.com, you could go through one of the local agencies. They're dotted everywhere in the streets. You could just walk up to one and hire a car. I actually wanted to plan ahead, so about 3 weeks ago I booked this car through Carjet, so carjet.com. The whole process was really easy, really straightforward. They give you a price, and they give you a price with platinum insurance. Platinum insurance covers, basically waives your excess. If something does happen, you're going to have an €800 excess. But if you take out the platinum insurance, which costs very, very little, it waives your excess. So my entire cost for hiring the car and for the insurance was €104 for 4 days. So that's pretty good. The car's nothing special. It's old. It's got some wear and tear to it. Definitely not looked after the way I'd expect a hire car to be if I were in a Western country. But you get what you get. It does the job, and I'm happy with it. Just be careful if you're going to hire a car. Just be careful to make sure you do a really good inspection. I run a video. I'll show you some of my snippets of my video as I walk around the car. Always do that, because you never know what dinks and dents and so on the car hire company is going to say belongs to you. I do that when I pick it up, and I do it when I drop it off. So for the next few days, you're going to see me travelling around doing various things. I'm not going to do a whole video of driving around Albania. I don't have any way of anchoring the phone to do that. And I am only using my phone as a camera. But this is just a little process on how to hire a car and how easy it is. Surprise to surprise, something did happen. Because you get what you pay for. And I just spent the day down in Butrint, drove all the way back home. I was literally just driving into the street that my Airbnb is on, and cables leading from the gear shift to the gearbox broke, and the car was locked in third gear. So the whole process was pretty easy. Jumped onto WhatsApp, contacted the hire car company, and they brought a replacement, identical car, a little bit worse for wear, but identical car, and they took the broken one away. So that's a good thing. So the customer service is pretty good. I'm going to be interested to see at the end of the whole process whether or not they actually try and bill me for that, and I have to claim my insurance to get the excess waive. But I'll fight it, because it's a mechanical issue. And let's face it, who knows what happened with that car before I picked it up. But driving in Albania is an interesting experience. The road users treat the rules pretty flexibly. The speed limits are sometimes a bit ridiculously low. The speed limit between here and between Saranda and BTrippin, it never gets above 50 kilometres per hour, even in some areas that in a lot of other countries might be 70 or 80 kilometres per hour. But of course, that means no one obeys them. So they all just fly past you. I sat on the limits because the last thing I want is for a cop to be sitting around the corner of a radar and we have issues with that. But that meant that cars were flying past me left, right, and centre on blind corners, on no overtaking zones. It's like rules don't exist. So if you're going to drive in Albania, you need to have your wits about you. If you're not a confident driver, don't drive in Albania. And that's just the other drivers. Then there's the roads. You have to do a bit of dodging on the roads. For example, on the way down to BTrippin, quite a few potholes that are big enough to swallow your car. You've got to dodge around. The other thing is there's sections of the road where it says 30 kilometres per hour because of falling rocks. Take notice of that, because on one occasion I came around a corner and there's a thumping great big rock the size of my head right in the middle of the road. So that would have hurt if I did it. So yeah, if you're not confident, I strongly recommend against driving in Albania and just wearing the extra cost of the taxis. But if you are confident, it actually is a little bit of fun negotiating all of these challenges. I've been driving emergency vehicles and driving at challenging situations and challenging speeds and challenging environments for 40 odd years. So I'm very comfortable driving anywhere. I'm happy driving on the right hand side of the road. Been there, done that. Yeah, I felt okay with it, but I suspect a lot of people wouldn't feel okay with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use this car for the next remaining 3 days, travel around some of the other areas, and then I'm going to see what the handing the car back experience was. So I'll update you at the end of that whole process. So this video will have that at the end of it. I'll also at the end of this video have a bit more information about the sorts of things that you need to look out for and what you need to do when you pick up your vehicle and when you return your vehicle, just to be on the safe side.
What I'm referring to as far as checking your vehicle when you pick it up and when you drop it off is just doing a walk around and doing a video. Don't take photos, do a video. Basically, you're looking for dents and point out in the video the dents that you find, the dents, the scratches, the water damage in the vehicle I first picked up. There were a moderate amount of dents. This is the one that broke down, and there was some water damage to the upholstery in the back seat. So pointing out those, but also if you're like me and you had to get another car, make sure you do the same thing on the second car. This is what I meant by they could have had a go at my insurance if they'd wanted to. When the second car turned up to replace the broken one, on inspection there was some torn upholstery behind the front passenger seat. I made a point of pointing it out to the guy, and it was all okay. But if I hadn't seen it, if I hadn't done that walk around, could have turned up to deliver the car back at the end, and they could have said, "Well, we don't have any record of this, so what happened?" And you might lose your insurance. Just be careful of that sort of stuff. The other thing, when I first called them about the breakdown, the guy said, I actually said to the guy, "Have you ever had this sort of thing happen with this model of car before?" And he said, "Yes, once, but the person who hired it admitted it was their fault." And I've looked at him and gone, "Well, that's not happening today. This is a mechanical error." So just be careful. Be careful what you say to them. Sure, you never admit culpability, and do your inspection, and everything should be fine. And you'll have a great time driving around in your nice hire car. The thing I want to talk about is an international driving permit. There's a bit of a misinformation out there on the internet about this. Most countries, regardless of where you're from, you do have to have an international driving permit. Don't be tricked by some of the information online. International driving permits are managed by your automobile association in wherever you're from. So for me, it was the Royal Australian Automobile Association. Um, so in my case, from my state, it's the Royal Australian Automobile Association of Tasmania, RACT. Um, you cannot use some other third-party provider. They are not legal, and if you're driving with one, you will get fined. There's lots of things on the internet that say we'll give you a electronic one. You don't need a printed version. Rubbish. They're not legal. Don't believe them. Protect yourself. Get one before you leave home, or if you've left home like I did, get one express posted to you, but don't drive without one.
If you're getting any benefit from this sort of a video, let me know in the comments below, and also please click like, click subscribe if you haven't already, and there will be a lot more videos coming around Saranda and generally southern Albania, and there's already a bunch of videos that you might want to catch up on. Alright guys, stick around, there's more to come. Cheers.